Them sweet nuts.
Testosterone. I've not looked into tested, untested, whatever. You just hear the nuts thing, but we got a proper description earlier, and I don't know where I am on it.
You know the best thing about being on test and having shriveled raisin nuts?
What's that?
Makes your dick look so much bigger. I'm telling you, I need all the help I can get, man. That's why.
Contrast.
That's why I don't squat anymore. The bigger your legs get relationally, you look smaller. So it's making me feel bad about myself. Yeah. That's why my wife has small hands.
Yeah.
We go on our first date. I'm like, let me see your hands. All right. All
We can work with this. We can work with this.
I guess something else to just get away from nuts. Something else as well, and it's I guess preconceived notions about fitness, general fitness myths, whatever else. We've just gone sugar right, on the next one, and something that I have drawn a lot of influence from was you specifically, but then also I guess my thought and like, nah, fuck you, you can't tell me what to do in terms of fitness, and it was like the ability that cardio and lifting can't coexist, both from a adaptation standpoint and then from a you should probably do this just based on just general physiological knowledge. It's like if you're probably more aerobically healthy, you're probably going to be able to be not only more tolerant to stress, but be able to adapt to stress better. And I think the biggest concept that I've seen from you, and probably the most, I guess, commonly spoken about, is least mode and beast mode. What is it, and why do you feel like you're drawn to developing health and health markers to support fitness adaptation?
Well, look, when you're younger, you don't think about any of this stuff, right? When I was in my teens and my 20s and I was competing in powerlifting and strongman, I didn't think about any of this shit. Yeah. I was just like, I just need to get real fucking big because I'm tall and all the guys that I compete against in powerlifting are midgets. So I need to get really big. So I'm going to need to be like 120 something kilos. So I'm like, okay, a little Anadrol, a little insulin, a little Tren, you know, making Tren from cattle pellets and all that shit, you know, because you couldn't just buy it from your dealer. So
wait, what?
Yeah,
you can't just skip over that.
Sorry.
I don't know anything about drugs.
Like
fuck all about drugs.
No, we are so new to this, but you can't skip over making my own Tren from cattle pallets.
Okay, all right. Let me explain.
What the fuck?
You know Tren. All these guys talk about Tren.
People talk about so we got some context. My understanding of Tren, it's the one that makes you angry.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah. If you take too much, which everybody does, especially here in Australia.
Oh, really?
The powerlifters take way too much fucking Tren. Yeah. And I think it's because you guys have a history of, you know, it's so the government's, it's so weirdly illegal here. Yeah. Everybody's scared, and it's scared to get high quality shit, and it's all underdosed because everybody gets underground shit, which Tren is always underground anyways. But I have a feeling you guys just were getting really shit stuff for a long time that was underdosed.
So everyone just jacked it up.
Yeah, so guys that put a CC in, like, I don't feel anything, and they crank that up to like a gram of Tren. They're like, wow, I really feel this. And then they finally get some real Tren, and now they're ragey all the time. And they're beating their partner and ripping their steering wheel off the fucking car. Because that's what it does when you take too much.
So my understanding that Tren makes you angry, that's correct.
Tren makes you, 100%. 100%, yeah.
And how do you make Tren from cattle pallets?
Tren, I just want to be clear. Tren is big boy medicine, and most of the people that take it should not be taking it.
Yep.
Okay, so back in the day, there was a steroid called parabolin, and it was a different form of Tren. And that was like the gold, like everybody wanted it. You wanted fucking parabolin. I never even saw it because by the time I got into that side of powerlifting and bodybuilding, it was discontinued. You couldn't get it anymore. And then guys went, oh, look, they give Tren to cows. They're in these pellets. I wonder if we can pull the Tren out, put it in oil, and get real fucking big. And so that's what everybody figured out how to do it. So you would you'd buy kits online, and they'd send you a 0.45 micron filter, a syringe, a big ass needle, a vial, oil, and you'd basically put all the pellets in the oil. You'd heat it up a little bit to break down the binders. You'd mash it around, and then you'd punch it through the 0.45 micron filter to get rid of all the shit. You'd go through a cheesecloth first to get the big shit out, but then you'd filter it to make it safe. Then you put your benzyl alcohol in. You put all your shit in, and you had really cheap Tren. So you just put on your Wranglers and your boots and go into the fucking feed shop and order a fucking pack of Tren for like $40. And you go home and you fucking pretend like you're a fucking chemist. And
this was a kit you could buy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Who the fuck was selling this kit?
Fucking like pharmacists and shit. I had a pharmacist buddy who was selling them, right? He got in trouble for it. But then he actually, it gets even crazier because there's also a cattle pellet called Cinevex. And Cinevex has test propionate in it, but it also has estradiol. So it's like, okay, if we could get the estradiol out and just isolate the test prop, you could have cheap test and tren.
Wow.
And no one could figure it out. And a buddy of mine figured out how to do it. And so you do all the same process, but you'd put something in that would pull the estrogen out of the solution, filter that, and then you'd put something in there to pull out the testosterone, add it to oil, filter it. There you get fucking cheap ass $20 fucking box, and you've got like 20 grams of test, which is a shit ton of test for $20. Yeah,
different world.
Science.
Is this where your love for biochem, physiology, and stuff started? Where did that all? How old are you when you're manufacturing cattle pallets?
Oh man, mid-20s.
I was gonna. It sounded like a very isolated Texas town activity. That process.
Yeah,
you were past it.
You
were past it.
Everybody was doing it. Yeah. Let's see. I was in Dallas because I remember I had an apartment. I got a 2-bedroom apartment, so I could have a clean room, so I could cook up all my gear. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. It's crazy. But I did get to 124 kilos lean. That was the big thing. The reason I got on gear in the first place, because I was like, okay, I can either get really fat and compete, or I can do steroids and get massive and compete. Which one's worse? I don't want to be fat.
Yeah.
Fuck it. I'm probably going to do this eventually. And I'd been training. I was already training for, 13, 14 years before I ever touched anything. I was already as big genetically as I was going to get. I think I was 110 kilos at the time. Yeah.
Big boy.
I was already deadlifting 630 pounds or so and, benching 4 something. So it's like, fuck it.
That's 290 and over 180 for those playing at home.
Yeah.
Big numbers.
So by the end of it, I was a 318 squatter and a 333 deadlifter, and I think I stroked 218 bench. Yeah, and then I got tired of powerlifting because everybody was using the supportive gear. That's when I was equipped.
Yeah,
and I couldn't stand it.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird block of powerlifting there when that stuff came in. Yeah.
I appreciate it now. Like I can see it's very technical, but I just always had a problem with guys going, I bench 600 pounds. No, you don't. You in the shirt bench 600. You actually bench 420. Yeah. So that'd be like saying I can outrun Usain Bolt and you've put roller skates with rockets on your fucking feet.
Yeah, or like a bungee cord pulling you forward.
Yeah, you got a motorcycle pulling you 100 meters and you're just being drugged. You're like, I won 2.3 seconds. I won. I beat Usain Bolt.
Yeah, not quite.
So let's go to 124 kilos lean. How did that feel?
Fucking awesome.
Except
because
you're a big dude. You're not short. Like you would have been a fucking monster.
Yeah, 183 at about 124, and I probably sitting around like 15 to 17%. So still relatively lean. Still had shadowing of abs and all that, but I couldn't walk fucking 3 or 4 meters without needing a post-workout shake and a nap. And I was like 24 at the time.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I lived on the 3rd floor, and I remember one day walking down to my Jeep, realizing I didn't have my keys. So I had to yell at my roommate to throw the keys down because there's no way I could get back up and down the stairs without having a heart attack.
Yeah. Right. Cattle pellets went a bit too far.
Cattle pellets are fucking strong.
That's actually incredible. So how long were you at that weight and what happened after that? You ended your powerlifting route and where's the next step?
Yeah. I mean, shit, at that time I wasn't even really powerlifting. That was kind of after I stopped powerlifting, and I decided I'll just get real fucking big.
Get jacked,
yeah. Yeah, because I powerlifted in the 110s. What's that? Yeah, I was 242. Yeah. So that's what I powerlifted at. And no, maybe, I guess my last meet, I clocked in at 241.5, and then I bloated back up to like 270 the next day. Big old fucking sausage fingers and shit. Yeah. You're just walking around like...
Yeah. Brain dead from the dehydration to cut into...
270.
Yeah. They did that, man. When I was over there with Crozier, because he went over... So I coached...
Sorry, I'm just baffled at how fucking heavy you got. You're big, man.
It was uncomfortable,
Yeah, sounds it.
but it was kind of cool being a freak show.
100%.
Like because you just don't see that. You'd
Nah.
walk anywhere you'd walk into, people would just stop and they would just stare at you, and you'd be like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
And then you'd walk a couple more feet, and you'd be like, "Oh fuck, oh Lord."
Throw me my keys.
You'd be trying to sleep at night. You're like sleep apnea, and you're just sweating all night because the trend makes you sweat like a bitch.
But yeah, Crozio was the same. Yeah, the weight cuts over in America are just nothing like the weight cuts here. There was guys cutting like 10, 12 kilos for like
well,
25.
they're all 24 hour as well.
Yeah, that's why.
I guess
yeah.
we do see only the 2 hour. It's
But
like
man, it was just that we were in the weigh-ins and everyone's like, yeah, I'm down 30 pounds. I'll get back up tomorrow. I'm like, how the fuck are you going to compete tomorrow? Like, you're so dehydrated. You're a shell of who you should be.
yeah, guys coming in shredded as well.
Yeah, yeah.
How the fuck did you lose that
It was
much?
crazy. It was a crazy experience.